When I got this truck, I had 3 primary objectives to complete with it. 1. Learn about the 2.5 liter. How does it behave? What's it like? Daily driver and off-road. How does it differ from the 4 liter? And are people justified when they say it's trash? No, they're not. It's a great engine, and I love it. But we've all heard that before. Did I learn anything? Oh, absolutely. Actually, owning and driving a 4-cylinder MJ made me realize 10 times more than anyone could have ever told me. Objective 2. Use it as a winter beater. Now that it couldn't have done any better, aside from not having a heater. I drove this thing all through a Wisconsin winter on tires from 2007. We tore up parking lots and laughed at boring modern vehicles that couldn't handle the snow. Not really. I did actually offer to tow quite a bit of people out of ditches, and this truck absolutely nailed that too.
Yeah!
Objective 3. Use it to move into my own apartment. One of the less enticing things about being an adult is you're responsible for sustaining yourself, which can be pretty lame. As I'm sure we're all aware, it is literally impossible to afford your own apartment in the modern American economy, so I needed a roommate. Powerslave got himself a job working for the railroad in Iowa, of all places, and he was on board for this roommate plan. All I had to do was, well, where the hell even is Iowa? If Iowa is really far away from Wisconsin, I don't know if I'd trust this old truck to get me there. As far as I know, this 1986 Jeep Comanche has never left the state. Trinidad managed to get me a Carfax VIN report on it, and its recorded history goes all the way back to 1992. Where it was first registered in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. That does leave 7 years and 83,000 of its original miles unaccounted for, but it is very remote way up north there, yeah, and I could absolutely see this truck being used for country purposes on some old dirt roads way back then. Of the few factory options it does have, a block heater is among them, which further suggests it was originally sold in the cold, maybe even upper Michigan. That would also explain how the rust got so bad. In 1993, the truck changed hands twice, moving to Schofield, Wisconsin, where it ended up with a salvage title for some vague reason. Carfax just kind of says, I don't know, it was probably in a crash or something. And then later that same year, it moved to Thorpe. Weird name. In 1994, it got a new owner again, moving to the next town over called Stanley. Here it got a lien on its title, which ended in 1999, and it remained in Stanley all the way until 2018 when it moved to Stratford. It only stayed here for less than a year before getting another new owner in Portage, and 1 year later it'd be registered in the Milwaukee area. In 2022, Kyle found it, and in 23 he sold it to me. So that means 2 things. Firstly, I am at least its 10th owner, very likely more than that because we don't have any records before 92, and it did change owners a couple times in Stanley. So I'm pretty much, I don't know, the 15th owner across, 39 years. That means this truck was resold on average every 2.5 years. It also shows that it never left Wisconsin. Obviously, somebody could have driven it over to Minnesota for a day or something, but it was never registered out of state. Combine that with the condition of the non-existent frame, and I wasn't exactly looking forward to driving it wherever the hell Iowa is. But on the way back home from Operation Country, I did manage to find Iowa and stop by this new apartment. It isn't very ideal for working on cars, really, at all, and there's no ceiling fans, and the Quad Cities are dangerously close to Illinois, which I had active reason to never drive this truck through. Thankfully, by going through Dubuque, Dubuque, we do just narrowly miss Illinois. So I loaded up what I could in the bed, found Jacob being miserable at McDonald's, and decided to drag him with.
It's the Mississippi River. You know what that means? No, we're not going swimming. It means, Jacob, that the bastard MJ has successfully driven outside of the state of Wisconsin, possibly for the first time ever. Welcome to Iowa, boys. We made it!
Its first maiden voyage was a success, and we learned the engine has a little quirk on longer road trips. About every 200 miles, it loses a quart of oil. It burns it, and it leaks it really bad. And we also have to keep in mind that the 2.5 liter only holds 4 quarts of oil, so there's not that much wiggle room for running low. So Jacob helped us unload all this stuff. It was like 7 p.m. and Powerslave was like, "Hey, that's a nice Comanche you got there. It'd be a shame if we used it to get some of my stuff from Illinois." I was like, "Nope, hell no, this thing barely made it here. No way is it surviving Illinois. It's no way. I would never in my right mind drive this truck into Illinois. But Powerade needed a truck for truck things, which I do contest. This truck is very good at doing truck things.
We got a whole ass bathtub, a vanity, a mirror, some tools, with plenty of room to spare. We could fit a second bathtub in here. Like, I'm not even kidding. We stood this one up. We could fit a second bathtub in this truck.
So we held it to a vote. Jacob would be the tiebreaker. I asked, "Hey Jacob, you want to go to Illinois?" And he said, "I shit you not. Sure." God damn it.
Wow. Look at that lens flare. Wow, Jacob. We've officially entered Illinois with the bastard truck. We'll see if she can survive this one, huh? There's the sign. Welcome to Illinois.
Another 3 hours all the way into central Illinois. We found Powerslave's storage unit at pretty much midnight. With another quart of oil down, the truck made it here with, kind of a new problem where the battery slowly dies over time. So eventually it's not going to start. And by eventually, I mean in the next few days. Am I going to replace the alternator?
No, this is Patrick.
We got an entire ass futon with the tailgate closed. No sweat. We've got the second load in the bed here. We've got a futon, the entire dentist office waiting room worth of chairs. We got a whole bunch of boxes full of pans, some tires, all my tools and shit, and Jacob. This thing, the engine does not care. Like you can tell it's loaded down in the way it sways and it, you know what I mean? Like the way it handles. Yeah. The engine does not give half a shit.
What I mean by that is this truck is really, really slow, right? Can you imagine like 1,000 pounds of stuff in the bed of a 4-cylinder, 4-speed, 4-wheel drive MJ from 1986, okay? 100-something horsepower, brand new. This thing is insanely slow. But if you take all of the stuff out of the bed, completely unloaded, it accelerates exactly the same.
Did you add the oil before we left the thing?
No.
We might want to do that.
We might want to do that.
I can fix it.
Yeah, you can fix that. You're a body professional.
I didn't mean to do that.
Dude, it's fine.
It was broken prior, but still.
It was. Look, good as new. It's like from the factory. We'll just put some duct tape on that. No big deal. All right, how much oil we got in here? Look at how wet the engine is.
Go by.
Oh yeah.
There's actual levels of goop on it.
Yeah, this is like falls of oil. It's incredible. But this tiny little thing does not quit.
Oh, does it lose any coolant ever? That was just something that popped in my head.
Check the Mountain Dew. It's over there. Yeah, there's still a little bit in there.
Okay.
We'll put some more Mountain Dew in there.
There's an O'Reilly's down the street.
We can just get Mountain Dew from McDonald's. We don't need to go to O'Reilly for that. McDonald's quality coolant right here. There we go. Good as new. And this cap is off of an oil jug. It's not the OEM cap. It broke.
Ready, Rack.
I ended up putting some Sprite in there instead. I mean, Hey, what do you want me to do? They don't sell coolant at McDonald's.
There's an O'Reilly's down the street.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around how much this thing is carrying. It ain't breaking a sweat. I am speechless with it.
We fueled up, stopped at Tuba's place for a bit to recharge my phone battery because the truck literally doesn't have a cigarette lighter, and then at 1 a.m., both vehicles fully loaded, we drove all the way back to Iowa. Now, going into Illinois is one thing. Getting out is a whole nother story. Just north of Galesburg on Interstate 74, probably around mile marker 43, I hit a bump and heard a crack. Like, ooh, that did not sound good at all. It literally sounded like the crossmember had ripped off the frame rail, and I feared the worst. I began to slow down, preparing to pull off to investigate the damage, but the truck was still driving. It was still going straight down the road, so I don't really feel like stopping at 2 in the morning, so we just kept going. We made it back to Fort Iacocca, we've decided to call it, unloaded the second haul of stuff, and we all passed out on the floor at 4 a.m., completely forgetting about this loud crunch noise we heard. But the next day I had to take Jacob back to Wisconsin, so we headed back north in the same truck that was just in Illinois, and that frame cracking noise, well, by this point I'd completely forgotten about it.
Oh, Jesus, boys. It's really freaking windy out there. I'm having a hard time keeping her straight. Okay, cap and windshield wiper has returned to its normal resting position. We're good. Oh, there we go. They work. This is despicable. Okay, these people in this big ass brand new Ford have to rent a trailer to tow 2 mattresses because they can't fit them in the truck bed. So I was about to get in the truck to go to work today. Noticed something new hanging down a little lower than usual here. Dude, the cross member is literally being held in by fuel lines. I heard this crack. We hit a bump so hard in Illinois, I heard this crack. Yeah. But I gotta go to work. So we're in a bit of a unique situation where the seat is holding in the transmission. I don't know. Something's telling me she might be nearing the end of her life. Or I could just throw some sheet metal screws in there like Griffin said. I'm pretty sure what's going on here is the transmission mount is creating enough sideways tension with the 2 bolts over there that it's not falling out. Like if the rubber in the transmission mount breaks, the cross member would fall out. Huh.
So a few days of driving around, basically without a cross member, it was time for an oil change. Well, no sense in changing the oil actually, because it leaks and burns it so fast that it's all pretty much brand new oil anyway. So I brought it into the shop to change the filter. One of the guys I worked with is like, "So, what do you got her in for today?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just changing the oil filter." And he goes, "What? Just the filter? You're not gonna change the oil?" And as I'm explaining why, he is looking through the floor of the cab at the ratchet strap holding in the transmission. And he says, "You know, WAEMID, I think I would stop putting money into this thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's why it's not getting new oil." Now, because I was moving to Iowa, I kind of had to quit my job here, and as a bit of a parting gift from the dealership I was at, I went into the sales department and asked if someone could appraise my truck.
Button. Push the button. There you go.
Oh, yeah, the ratchet strap and everything.
Uh-huh.
Damn. I mean, the seat looks pretty nice for...
Yep.
Yep, that's about it.
Dang, what's going on in here? Oh my god.
I don't know. Yep, it's been through some shit.
I don't want to shake it too hard. I do like the wheel though.
Yeah, that's aftermarket. You like the gauges? There's literally just the speedometer and fuel gauge, nothing else.
Is it just the whole button lights up when it needs something? Like, for example, the oil light?
Yeah, if there's no oil in it, it just turns on the light. And it doesn't turn it on until there's no oil.
I haven't really seen one of these in a while either.
Yeah. Right there. There you go. Yeah, look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at McDonald's once, and I was out of coolant. So, McDonald's doesn't sell coolant, but they do sell Sprite. So I put Sprite in here. So now there's a non-zero amount of McDonald's Sprite in the cooling system.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, here's my cardboard floor. So how much you thinking?
I think you might have to pay them on this one.
Yeah, negative $500 to take it.
It's just the scrap fee.
Dang.
Oh. I myself give you $250.
$250?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I feel like you probably need it to get home, and that's not much of a down payment in something else.
No, $250 around here, that wouldn't get me very far, huh? You gotta slam that door pretty hard like it owes you money.
Pay up.
There you go. Alright, here we go. Never mind. We're all starting it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh. I bet I can do it. I bet I can do it. Yeah! Yes!
Scared the shit out of that Hispanic lady.
Dude! Oh my god, that was legendary. Yep, so it's only about 20 times as loud in here when you're on the highway because the muffler rusted off about 10 years ago.
We're out here in the 1980s Jeep Comanche. Pristine mint condition.
What? Alright, we've hit 35 miles an hour. Barely. I mean, this is floored right now. This is all it's got. You think we can make it? Come on! More steam! Yeah!
I gotta put my belt on.
This is what I had to deal with every day on my way to work. Just this noise.
Shifter in peak condition. Cornering like an F1 car.
Alright, so I think the battery is dying in this thing. So if I put the clutch in, shut off the engine, we'll see if it restarts. No. So I can just push start it by releasing the clutch while already rolling. Alright, so the battery's totally screwed. Alright, so for a while now, every time I start it, it has a harder and harder time starting. Oh my god, the damn oil cap is vibrating itself loose. So I took the battery out of Cherry Pie because this is a brand new battery, 123. It's only a year old. And this one had like a 5-year-old battery in it. So I wanted a good battery for the winter, but I didn't want to buy a new battery, obviously. So I just took the one out of Cherry Pie because Cam wasn't using it. And then I put this truck's battery in Cherry Pie. So I'm going to swap them back out now. because I don't think there's any way this battery is bad. I think the alternator just stopped charging. But it's charging it enough to keep itself running. Like, it's running off of the alternator, but it can't restart itself, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weak. It would have restarted there, but I'm just gonna swap the batteries. Bastard truck still has its original hold down thing, which was a cube, little rubber thing back then instead of the bar that goes over the top of it. All right, it started it. Not really any better than the other battery did, because this one's been sitting in a dead truck all winter. But at last they are reunited with their respective vehicles.
I'd learn much later that it wasn't the battery or the alternator that was bad. The exponentially slower crank turned out to be a failing starter. But that's not going to be my problem. You see, now that I've moved into this apartment, I've completed all 3 of my goals with this truck. I learned how to speak 2.5 liter, it successfully carried me through the winter, and I used it to haul my stuff out of my aunt's spare bedroom. So, despite all odds, that's mission complete. So I don't have a need for this truck anymore, nor really a want, honestly, and I'm only allowed 1 vehicle on the apartment premises, so this one's gotta go. Now, I wouldn't ever wish this truck on someone trying to sell it to its, 16th owner? Nah. I think it's about time it retires, after 39 long and brutal northern winters, and even after what I've managed to put it through in just a few months. It belongs in a museum.
That belongs in a museum! So do you!
I called my local junkyard. They offered $250 for the thing, which seems to be the general agreement on what it's worth. And the plan was to drive it over there at the next available opportunity. But then Expo came to visit us. Him and Power Slave found an off-roading spot nearby, and I figured why not give the old girl one final send-off.
Oh shit. There's a hole. I can see through the hole. Think I could walk on that?
Cabin, sweet cabin.
There's don't also walk on it.
Yeah, one at a time.
You gotta be real careful where you step. Oh, a ceiling fan. It's paradise. I don't know if you want to try risking getting over here, but there's not much in here. You could see the entire floor moving. These boards are all wet. They bend when you step on them.
Oh my god, buckets.
Oh, there's Expo. He's got the tripod. Crash into a tree, that's what he's gonna do. He lost it. There's a branch stuck on his cross member. Right into the pole. Oh boy. And we lost this front fender thing. There goes the belt. I figured I'd get a little wet there. Oh, Jesus. Oh, he almost lost it. He saved it. He saved it. He's got it.
That was a sick recovery.
God, imagine having a 4-liter in an automatic. Oh.
Couldn't be me.
Okay.
How you doing?
Hi. Good intro.
So I got a handful of footage of their Jeeps, but Expo and Powerslave didn't feel like recording anything I did, so nobody captured the moment I sent the thing so hard I lost oil pressure. At this point, it'd really be the ideal way for it to die. Shredding some trails without oil in the engine sounds like what an MJ does best. I wish I had more footage. You can yell at these nutcases for that one.
Good find. Good find. I think we found our compression leak, sir. Out of the spark plug on cylinder 2. It only took us losing all oil pressure to figure it out. It's probably, this is the sensor right here. Probably just full of mud. Sounds like it's got oil pressure. As much mud got in here through the floors than having the window down. Let's see if it'll hold oil pressure now. Okay, we're good. Man, I wish I had just some field in the middle of nowhere so I could just collect these and do nothing with them. I'm gonna miss this one. This was definitely a character. She's leaking clutch fluid, so I filled that back up. We're also leaking brake fluid from the rear. Somewhere in the rear, probably a wheel cylinder. Top that off. But soon it's not going to be my problem anymore. But I am going to miss it being my problem.
It is sad to see an MJ go, because although particularly undesirable this one, it is still a Comanche. But with the ratchet strap holding in the transmission, a dying starter, questionable internal engine health, literally no frame, no options, no gauges, no cruise, no AC, no fifth gear, it takes some sort of crazed maniac to want to buy this thing. As it happens though, I do know one. Bunny said he'll give me $600 for it. He thinks he can fix the thing. Now, I don't know how much a few cans of rust reformer are going to do for it, but if my math is correct, $600 is more than $250. In the final episode of the Bastard Truck Saga, I'll be driving it from Iowa to Michigan, where Bunny will take the reins and, do something with it. I don't know, probably things nobody else would dare to. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.